Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi to all. My name is Fakriah Izyan Hanani binti Asmadi. I am a Form 4 student at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Agama IGAN. My school code is YRA3201. I love reading and I am so delighted to be a part of this competition. Today, I am going to review one of my favorite books, Ghost Letter. This book genre is mystery and fantasy, which is exactly my kind of book. It has 227 pages and 44 chapters overall. This book is written by Stephen Alter. Who is Stephen Alter? He is an American author of non-fiction and fiction who was born in Missouri, India in 1956. Until now, Stephen Alter have written 20 novels and his first novel was first published in 1978. This novel, Ghost Letters, was his seventh novel that was first published in 2008. Have you ever thought what would you do if you could communicate with people in the past? Well, this book is about a life of a young boy named Jill that was expelled from a school and has to live with his grandfather in a small oceanside town in Massachusetts. For Jill's, it is a disaster and a horror to be at such a place until something unusual happened to him. Guess what? He found a magical bottle that could send his letters to somewhere in past. How can it be? That's insane. At first, Jill just put a note into the bottle jokingly and sent it off into the ocean. The story then skips back in time to India, where there is a boy who then finds the bottle with the note tucked inside. Writing back and forth across continents and centuries, these children eventually realize the possibility of changing history. This book has a lot of teaching value. In this video, I am going to share 3 of them. Let's go to the first one. From this book, reader will be able to discover that being honest is the best thing a human can do. We all know honesty is the best policy. I could discover this value through the lost love letter from Camellia Stubb to Ezekiel Finch. Ezekiel sailed away to India after knowing that Camellia is made by her family choice. Camellia then wrote an unaddressed letter explaining everything, but sadly, the letter disappears on its way to Ezekiel. The captain who promised to send the letter to Ezekiel's employer in India intended to confess to Ezekiel about the lost letter during his journey, but instead, he sails on the Calcutta and becomes a victim of virulent cholera and dies a sudden. It was a delirious death. Next, responsibility is our main priority. I have concluded this lesson through the story of the mailman who was supposed to deliver a ransom note. One of the characters, Lawrence, was kidnapped by British soldiers. The mailman was attacked by an elephant on his way. He drops the mail without hesitation and escapes in his haste. The ransom note, which could have saved Lawrence's life, ends up at the top of a banyan tree. Indeed, if only the letter had reached Lawrence's father, surely his father would pay the ransom for the release of his son. The third value is we must be ready to sacrifice in a job that has been entrusted to us. Hermes, a secret agent who was supposed to deliver a code message that actually could stop the war between British and Ajibka, was killed on his way. The code message then kept by the killer, who was an anarchist in disguise as a railway attendant. He pocketed the letter and ran away. Then he discarded his railway uniform but forgot to remove the letter from its pocket. In fact, through the negligence of this anarchist, we can also learn to be more sensitive and focused when doing any job. At last, The secret agents, dispatch which could have prevented a senseless war, lay in the dead letter bin for years. Jill made a plan to deliver the lost letters which had never reached their intended destination. In my opinion, it was a really good action that Jill took, even though he knows that everything sounds nonsense and hard to believe. Through the help of some supernatural beings, Jill successfully carried out his mission to change all the bad things that happened in the past of Ajibka. What are the beings? How can they help? Go buy this book now and find out yourself. Personally, I really like how the writer described the location, the item, and the characters' motive very realistically. Even though most of the characters in the story sound creepy, I am going to say that this book is really worth to read. Gonna give 5 out of 5. As a person with a high curiosity, this book is literally good. It creates a great amount of suspense, and I just really love how the story flows and how the mysteries begins to unravel one by one. From Jill, I also learned that you will get what you are fighting for. Just don't stop trying. Everything is possible if there is effort. And do not underestimate anything in this world. I guess that's all my review for Ghost Letter by Stephen Alter. Goodbye and happy reading.